Okay, guys, we're gonna do a little drill. All right, just a little drill to get us moving here a little bit. Maybe you guys seen it before. If you have, just use it to warm up, and then we'll kind of build off of it. I'll show you guys a little more detailed stuff I like to do. So let's say she's in half guard here, and I'm passing the guard. Okay, somewhere I'm sure we'll all find ourselves at some point, or almost half guard. Over here, we're busting past this one here. She's gonna go into the Kimura lock from here, right? Which is actually a great opportunity for her to enter that Kimura. Okay, so anytime. We say, when can we go for a Kimura? Well, usually when that person's posted on the floor, but also when that person pushes on your knee to try to push that knee down. And it's pretty common for people to go for that Kimura lock, right? So we're going to look at kind of my defense and how I can counter it from here. I know that her goal right now is going to be to pull my hand out from under my body and put it behind my back. I'll either have to tap or roll. So if she got that far to bring my arm out the back, out of under my body, I'm going to bring my leg to come save my own arm and catch behind my knee and put my knee back down. The grip that I have under my knee is going to be really hard for her to break because it's on me. It's not on her, right? It's hard for her to untangle that grip from this position. But a lot of times she's going to put it in a knee shield and start trying to pry that arm out. And sometimes I'll do what she's doing here and be successful with it. But when she puts in that knee shield, her legs aren't crossed and I can unwind using a windshield wiper with my foot and take my leg out. Since my leg is out and she still has a Kimura, this position is able to be countered, okay? So what I'm going to do is kind of flirt with Kiskatami here a little bit, just to step over and go into an armbar, okay? So just this entry, just to play with the little, I push the knee, that's her point of entry, okay? She goes to pull my arm out, I'm in trouble, I bring my leg up, my knee comes to the rescue, catch behind my knee, put my knee back down. She's trying to pull my arm out, she can't do it, I escape my foot from between the half guard, either by windshield wipering or come up and cutting through. Now, I would say it's a mistake to allow her to lay flat here. So I want to keep my hand under my chest, never allow it to come to the side or behind, obviously. I want to see what team she's from. That's a pretty cool team. So I get her off her back. As I pull her this way, it also, if you notice, raises her shoulder. Right? I want her arm to be as long as possible as I go for it. So as I kind of pull her off her back, that's when I can step over. With one step right behind her belt, I sit down and spin to the other side, going right into the armbar. She could still be holding her original grip, that Kimura. She could still be holding it, and it just turns into an armbar. So I really like this counter attack. Okay, one more time. She goes into it. I defend, really good defense here. Escape, maybe hold the legs together if you want. Kiskatami, step over, turn, finish the armbar, catch the wrist. I like to have her wrist in the bend of my elbow, right here, so there's nowhere for it to wiggle. The other hand's gonna hold that thumb joint, the meat of the hand here, and make sure she doesn't start twisting her wrist, and I bring it towards the side of my legs, of her legs, to finish. We're not gonna fall this way. This way, or always opposite where the thumb is pointing. Always go opposite direction. It ends up over here, we go this way. But generally this way. Okay? And the reason I'll mention that, especially, is because my leg is not stepping over her, because of the nature of the entry, it's very easy for her, or common, for her to try that hitchhiker escape, right? Going out this way, exactly. That would be a common escape for her. Come back again. So because I don't have like real good, tight control of my legs, it's really important that we really control where the arm goes. The more I just lean this side against this leg, it's going to be harder and harder for her to do that escape. The more it's in the center, easier. Or the more this way, really easy. So make sure you really kind of drag it to this corner of this leg. And you'll notice, even with my legs a little bit relaxed, when she tries to do that hitchhiker escape again, go. She, just from holding it there, it controls her. So this is a nice detail just to really control that arm bar so they don't squirm too much out of that position. All right, let's give it a try, maybe 5 times each, something like that. Okay, and we'll continue. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's make this a 2-person drill here, even a little bit more. So she pushes my knee down. I say, hey, I want that Kimura. I go to pull. I couldn't get it. Okay, she finds her way to get her leg out. And she's here. Now, for me, I should probably let go of this Kimura immediately. right? Because I should recognize that I'm in danger once she's without the binds of my legs, of my guard, because of this exact reason you guys just did, right? She could step over and go to the armbar. The longer I let my ego say, I want that Kimura, the more danger I'm going to be in, right? Because I still have it, but she's going to finish me, right, in the armbar. Okay, so maybe she steps over, just for the sake of the drill, let's step over and make that armbar a little more secure, and we're here now. Right? So I'm going to show an escape that, to tell you the truth, I've never seen anybody teach before. I've seen it used in competition, high level, and it's become my favorite escape of this position. Try not to get here, but if I do, this is the one a lot of times I'll use. Right? So number one, this is like after I've already lost my grip or my arm's going. Okay, it's getting stretched out. So I have limited time to be able to use this. One important thing is I don't let her cross her feet, so I keep my elbow in between her ankles, and I'm going to start to bridge. When I bridge, I'm ideally going onto my head, off my shoulders, just so I can bring her heels off the ground, and I can swim under, bring my hand right to the outside of her knee. My arm's going, but my thumb's going to turn towards my knees, this way. Okay? As I turn my thumb towards my knees, I'm going to push her knees, and I'm going to keep my bridge as I walk, staying flat. And I'm just going to do this quarter turn. Right? She still has my arm. I haven't removed my arm, but she's now at the wrong angle. So I make her turn halfway, and I turn halfway, right, with my elbow. Right? So we do a full 180. As my thumb turns towards her chest, my elbow turns away, and I'm here. So now we kind of end up in this 50-50 position where either one of us could really come up to help me get up a little bit faster. We use this leg to come up and put my hand on the leg, and I cross my knees, and I should be able to take side control here. But if she pushes my hand into her pocket, my wrist, and just pushes it down, yeah, she's gonna be right here for a second. And I just want to show you guys, as she pushes my wrist down into that pocket, it's gonna be really hard for me to turn this corner, and she's gonna do a 180-degree turn into omoplata. Once she's in this position, we'll do one more move to practice our escape to this position before she sits up. So if I need to, I might walk her back, like put her on her shoulders for a second, my head on the floor, jump, and then on the other side. Okay. Once I'm here, I'm looking for head control. She's not gonna let me have it. She's gonna recover half guard, and now it's my turn from the top. I push. She goes for the Kimura. I escape. Pull this one in. Makes it nice and tight. Step over, twist. Step over, and we're here. She bridges. She pushes my knee. Make sure you push my knee, and walk like a clock, turning to the top. Okay. As she's coming up to that side control position, my hand's pushing, and my other hand's tucking. So it's really important for me as she's doing this escape as my response to her actually guard pass, right? Counter to a guard pass. Right here, she's in great position. I can do one thing to make it complicated for her to finish my guard pass, and that's just this. Bring her wrist to this side. As I push that wrist down, I'm giving a little bit of a twist in her thumb, so her thumb's pointing down. I'm doing this, and my knees are just going to scissor. Okay, so my knees just make a little tight on that shoulder. Now, if she tries to pass my guard, I don't have to do anything. She's not going to pass because of her shoulder position. Right? And I'm going to easily do a 180-degree turn into omoplata. Okay? Normally I would sit up from here, but I'm going to let her practice her escape. She gets up and over. Very important, I don't let her grab my head, and I recover my guard again. Okay? So this is a continuation of what you guys were just doing. A little nice flow. She pushes my knee again. Kimura. I try, she defends, gets out, armbar, counter. Okay, as she's into it here, bridge, push, turn my thumb towards the chest, use this leg, let me come up. She puts my hand in the pocket, gets omoplata, jump forward, land, grab the head, half guard, recover, push the knee. She's back into it, I escape, pass, step over, she does her escape. I say, oh man, she's gonna pass my guard, put her hand in the right position, she jumps over, block, half guard again, and we keep going. All right, so nice little flow. One more time, slow, Kimura, defense, escape, step over, into the armbar, I'm in trouble, I bridge, I turn my thumb down, I push the knee, I walk, use your hip, here, this is the key, use your hip, don't get up until your bodies are parallel to each other, don't try to get up here, you'll probably get tapped, there's too much space between us, okay, use your hip to help turn her to face away from you. Yeah. Keep walking. Try to finish it. Just try to finish. I'm not going to let her. I come up. When I come up, she puts my hand in position. I'm gonna wobble out, I'm in trouble. Jump over. She defend, back to half guard. Nice little flow. Take it as far as you feel comfortable to do. I recommend white belts or colored belts to help out. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know. 1, 2, 3.
So I'll show 2 of them right now to start off the warm-up drill. And so the reason this technique works so good is because most of jiu-jitsu works off of people making mistakes. This technique works off of people doing the right thing, which means it's more predictable. So if I'm here in side control and I frame away, I grab this bicep and I turn towards him like this and create a lot of space, and be on my side. The right thing for him to do is to either flatten me back out, right, or close this space that I created by coming in close to me, right? So I know he's going to do that. And so because I know he's going to do that, I'm controlling his bicep. My hand is over. I can grab his lat, his belt. I can hook his head. If he has a gi on, I typically just grab the belt. Not on the same side. I go across like this. And I really get my butt out to create a lot of space right here. And that's going to provoke him to put a lot of pressure or flatten me out, right? So go back. So when he does that, I give a little bump towards him. He does that. I'm going to bump over my head, right? And I take him into his hold. So his arm being locked, like it's like tying his shoelaces. I push him forward. He pushes towards me. Boom. Right? In his hole, he falls over. I keep the grip. And I come up on top. I have his belt in his arm. And obviously a lot of things I can do from right here. As for drilling, I'm going to come down here. He grabs my bicep. He hip escapes towards me, comes over, creates a lot of space. And I go to close that space by pushing or walking in, and he bumps.
You finish here or the side?
Right here. Right here. So again, frame, bicep, hip escape, this arm. I'm adding details now. This arm is under his body, which creates a lever to lift him on. Right, so I'm adding details here. This arm's going to be underneath his body. This hand, across here, everything's tight here. I'm not reaching with this arm. It's just sucked in tight, and I go way out. Look at what my feet are. If I bridge from here, it's not very strong. If I bridge from here, it's going to be super strong. When I first started doing this, probably about 15 years ago, everyone would tell me that my bridge is strong. And I was like, yeah, badass bridge. And then Professor Draccolino from Gracie Bob, if you guys know who he is, he was like, I got to see how you're doing something different. And what he noticed was that when I was bridging, most people's natural bridge is like right here. When I bridge, my feet always naturally ended up here. And so my bridge was that much higher. It's kind of ironic. I sleep on my belly like this. Actually, all of my kids do, and now I have grandkids. They sleep like this too. So I used to think it was a genetic mutation. Now it's a gift for this bridge. So I naturally go here, but most people will naturally go here. So when you bridge, in this move and all of them, bring your feet in here. It's the difference between this to here. Just so much stronger. And when I'm on my side, I bring my feet in deep. And that bridge is going to be super strong to take them over. So one more time. Back and forth. Is that it? Yeah. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Got like my 250-pound black belt training partner telling me I'm not going to get it. Oh yeah, I'm going to get it. He knows it's coming. It's that much better. It's that much sweeter. But if I have to put the ego aside and prove in real life and say I just want to improve my position. And so what happens in this move is once you get somebody one time in it, then they're a little less hesitant to push into me, right? So I create space. He might not be so hesitant to push into me. So if he doesn't push into me, I don't need to do it. I'm just going to come to my knees, right? So I escape. I improve my position. If I come here and I push into him, he backs up. Put him in my guard. I improve my position. I was in side control. Now I'm on my knees. So when you're doing this move, I'm either getting the reversal, I'm escaping, or I'm getting regard. Any one of those are improving my position. I don't need to get the roll. The reason that's important is because if I could have all three of those a threat, then I could force him to where I want him to go to get one of those positions. And so the reason I'm saying this kind of leads into this next move right here. So this time, as I come back, instead of when I bump into him, he doesn't respond. In fact, he either stays there or he backs up. So we could come to our knees or we can regard. If I go to regard, I'm going to be leaning into this knee, and he's going to run away from it. Right? He's going to run away from it. And I go faster I go, he's running away from it. It becomes super easy to take him over. He was running away from the reversal in the regard to the threats. And now, usually he's like super heavy right here. But now he's like super light. Not even Professor Kelly, when he's moving like this, he's going to be lighter because his base isn't settled in. And so we want to create a movement by threatening those things for real. All right, so here we go again. This could be a drill. Push, I'm going to come in. I'm going to get this space. If I bump into him, he's not going to move. I can go to my knees, but instead we're going to go for regard. He's going to move away. The faster he moves, the easier it's going to be. Boom. We're going to come here. And then he's going to do the same thing. He's going to bump into me. I don't respond. I can come back to the guard. Bump. He doesn't do anything. The faster they're moving, it becomes so light. Most of the time when I get this reversal, it's in this situation. Because I've done it to people before. I bump into them, they're like, no way, I'm not doing it. I create some space, start coming into the guard, they shuffle away, I reverse them. So, have I got that? One, two, three.
Working with Chad in the rollover. Or this hand, in case the belt is loose or no-gi, we're going to hold the armpit. Sometimes I like just holding the armpit better anyways. But I'm still going to give him what he wants and flatten me out. Okay? But I actually want him to drive into me and try to flatten me out, which is a natural reaction from him. And when he does, I get this nice rollover sweep. It comes really easy with all of your coordinated movements. So back to the end. So we can, maybe start from this half guard position. I recover a knee. He goes to smash it back down, right? Kimura I couldn't get, but I can hold the sleeve pretty easy. Okay, even if it's no-gi, just holding the wrist. Any way you can hold the wrist, keep that wrist away from you. It makes a lot of problem for him to pass the guard on this side by not letting you have that arm. Okay, make sure you're holding the wrist in a way that when he goes to pull back, it's not hurting your hand. For example, this grip here that we're normally taught to hold can be a little bit hard to hold if he's trying to pull against the bend of my wrist. Like he's here, he's trying to pull down. My wrist is bending into his grip, so it's not going to be good. If I can rotate down, then I should be good, right? And keep my wrist straight against his strength of his pull, or I can just grab like that. So basically, like a thumb up grip will work great for this. It'll keep your wrist locked in a straight position. Okay. So again, I bring my knee inside. He smashes it back down. I make sure I hold that wrist, and I kind of embrace him into this position. Right. As he drives into me and flattens me out, I'm going to use my bottom knee to bring him up. Okay, that bottom knee is going to elevate him. The hand that I have extended, his own arm, is going to be between his legs, ideally pushing up between his legs. Okay? And then I keep this hook active, keep this one active as well, and then this leg just going to follow. Notice I keep this one active to help carry me over in just a simple backwards roll. From here, I'm in great position to begin my pass, to maybe work to a Dars, work to a Kimura. Okay, because I have that wrist already. Either way, we're on top. We're arguably better position if you like me here. If you guys want to use this as a drill, we're just back and forth. I'm in a good half guard position. He recovers. I don't like that knee there. Get rid of it. He's gonna hold it. Okay? He's gonna give me my position back, but he's gonna use that knee and bump between my legs. Once I come over, he's gonna take me all the way. So he's making me do a forward roll as I'm doing a backwards roll. Okay? And we're going across the body this way. Okay? So I'm putting him on this shoulder and I'm rolling over this shoulder. So he's going across me. That's probably the biggest confusion about this technique is which way we're rolling. And it's, if he's on this side, he's going that way. Okay, and he's going to this cross-side shoulder. Okay, half guard, he's got a good half guard position. I'm recovering my guard. I hold his wrist, I raise belt or lat, heavy tricep over his neck. Okay, I'm gonna, even if he doesn't drive forward, I'm gonna make him come forward. When I flatten out, I bring him forward with my bottom knee. So that bottom knee, as I duck his head down, I can bring that bottom knee up and continue to push with his hand between his legs. I don't want to let this one go because I don't want to let a scramble happen. I don't want to just throw him. I want to follow him tightly and end up right where I want to be. You know, nice good half guard again. If you want, look for your Kimura right here, or just continue with the drill back and forth. Okay, this is a modification of the basically a lot of people know as Shaolin sweep. You know, just want to grab here, bring up, over, and take me over this way. Yep. This is a modification of this sweep. But same direction, just different grips. Also a really good sweep. Modification grips. Okay. Alright guys, let me try. 1, 2, 3. And forth is a setup for it. Even if you don't use it off of this sweep, you know your partner's going to smash you here. Boom, you block, your recovery, your guard. That arm's always going to be there during your recovery. Okay, for your to give an attempt to, right? His arm is always going to be on the outside of my hip. Right? It's very rare, like his arm's going to be anywhere else. Maybe sometimes he'll have that arm here, but that's rare. Okay, he's pretty much always going to put that arm there. And as I start to recover my guard, you know, I can bring this knee like under his tricep and keeping it close to me, close to my shoulder. Now there's a shoulder movement. Post on his head so his hand can't follow me. Bring my leg nice and heavy over. A common mistake I see on people doing omoplata is they just throw the leg over without pressing down with the knee. Okay, so what I want you guys to practice is really focus on this inner thigh pressing down. Sometimes I like to even stomp on his back to help me smash down over the shoulder and really engaging my inner thigh here. Sometimes when he's really driving towards my chest heavy here, like really driving forward, I hook, using that hook of my heel over his shoulder to keep him away. Okay, so this is a nice little leverage point that your heel can fit into. But your hands will never let go of the push on his head until your foot passes over to this side of his head. Okay. Now that this leg is over his head, I know there's no way for him to come back into my guard. And only now it's safe for me to start coming up. I don't know if anybody on that side of the room noticed, but I'm hooking his bottom leg here from half guard. And that's intentional because he may try to do that escape that we did earlier where he jumps over to the other side. I'm not going to let him do it, see? I'm already anticipating that. Coming from half guard, my leg will already be between his legs. So I'm making a conscious hook on that leg to control any spastic movement that he might try to go for here. Okay, as I come up to my elbow, I'm still pressing down with this knee. I'm looking for body control. And let's finally move our legs out. Okay? And we're ready to finish, right? If he tries to posture right now, posture, he's going to throw me on my back. And this is what happens to a lot of people in omoplata when they give it a try. So I mention this because a lot of people will try it right about here. They get flattened out. It's such a common reaction. You can say strong here. Let's see. So what I want to do is notice where my hip is in relation to his hip, his knees. My hip right now is right next to his knee, right? Could be in front of his knee. It's not in a good spot. I want to bring my hips all the way back to his feet, to his ankles, or at least the line of his hips. So before I sit forward, in order to control his posture and have a successful omoplata, I'll generally think about scooting backwards. Many times I feel like I need to get my knee aligned with that shoulder, my hips in the line with his hips. You can stay in the knees. So that way, I can lean my weight forward and I can successfully come up to that finish. The more forward my hips are, when I go to sit up and he goes to posture his head to the ceiling, he's going to be successful by doing that. But the more I move back, look, my knee gets closer to the mat, my shin is parallel to the mat, and I can put weight in that forward leg. So now when he goes to posture, I can control his upward motion. I and control his upward posture, this back leg is transferring my weight into that front knee, and I can have a successful finish even while he's on his knees to finish the shoulder lock. To finish. Okay. So,
It's a really good skate.
So in this case, we're coming from half guard or blocking here. Even if you're not doing off that sweep, just simply blocking. I'm going to be looking for that hip escape. It's really common, for him to be trying to control my hip here, right? So I can't get out. That's kind of like what I want. The arm is there for me. I want him to dig this elbow down toward the floor. Not too much, but I want it to be there, So kind of usually as it's on its way there, right? He's never going to be in half guard with his arm over here, right? I'll take it back. Right? He's always going to be looking to embrace the body, and when he does that, striking position. Whether I'm on my way with him coming in or I'm peeling him off me, and it's just left behind. So easy from the half guard and very expected, I would say. As you're coming up, getting body control, you getting to this position. This escape is a lot of times the last resort for our opponent here. And when I say last resort, it's usually when I'm already sitting up. And I would say I teach this one to say when he's going to do it is after I'm already elevated my hips, because I'm lighter and he can start taking me sideways. And he probably wants me to land here, and if he's lucky, he'll scramble to his knees and escape. Okay? So that's what he's wanting to do. Okay? We can break that down a little bit more and also show my count. Okay? Just as if you haven't seen this one before, sometimes a good focus point is the hand that's being attacked. Maybe doesn't have to do anything. Maybe you grab your own belt. Maybe puts it under his body. That's not going to save him, but it'll kind of slow me down a little bit. As I start to come up, that hand comes under, maybe grabs my butt. His hips scoot under me, look. And he's scooting, he's going to do like a reverse hip escape to put me on my face down. Okay? Now when I land here, the downside is very common, I'll take side control. Right? And that'll be it. So his response to me taking side control is, I say, a hand in the armpit. So he buys me some time so I don't turn in so fast, and maybe he's able to scramble and get to his knees. Okay, just buys him an extra second or two. Now my reaction. Okay, so hopefully you guys can try that escape. Maybe do that escape first, and then when I feel my partner going to roll me over here, I'm not going to wait until my head is hitting the ground or my face is going towards the mat. Okay, I'm going to actually sometimes speed things up with this foot as I throw myself over and my foot hits the ground. When my foot hits the ground, I tuck and roll. And I get under him before he can land flat. Okay? As I got under him here, I'm pulling down here. I'm just pulling down, like I want to pull his tailbone into the mat, spine straight down into the mat. Okay, so I want to just keep him from recovering to his knees, keep the scramble from happening. So I'm pulling down. Okay, so this really is just a forward roll to get me here. And a lot of people, we can get here different ways, but a lot of people in this position, in my position, may think like, man, I got to get back to the top to finish. And even worse, he thinks he is okay because he's on top right now, technically, right? But there's some easy finishes from here. First of all, exhale, let your knees come towards your chest as much as possible so you can reach as far around your shoulder as possible. All right, so I'm just I'll let myself become like a nice tight ball. I'm not going to be pushing him away. So I can get a good gable grip over that collarbone, nice and close to his neck. I'm going to continue pulling down. I continue pulling down hard. If he taps already, that's fine. But really, what's usually going to tap him is going to be this foot doing a very little hip escape. And so I'm going to alleviate a little bit. I'm pulling down here, and I'm doing the hip escape like that, which is pulling his hand away from the body in a very powerful way, right? As you see, I'm doing very slow. But as I'm pulling down here, I could do this, and his arm would be way out there, right? So you have to be very responsible about the power that you have in that position because your partner's shoulder, you see, is very fragile. Others more than others. Okay.
The aim at flexible shoulders.
Boom, I get into position, I get all in control, I get up, I'm not letting her roll. I have a grip, ideally under the arm, holding something, maybe a lapel. I'm ready to come up. Now she can roll me over because I'm not just sitting here like a heavy rock. I'm projecting myself forward and she's taking advantage of that. I stop the move with my foot on the ground first. Not this foot, the closer one. Okay, and I tuck and go under. Okay, I'm pulling down, like elbow to the floor. Okay, from here, I'm on the bottom, I can still finish it. This is one finish here, or it can double up on the collar, pull down. All that's important is that when I pull, she's heavy, she's hard to move. So now when I hip escape a little bit more. You guys tap right here, okay? If I don't pull down here, or if my hand is loose down on her lower shoulder, she'll scoot her hips to follow me into my armpit, and when I move away, she's just gonna keep coming with me. But when I grab on the shoulder, she can still try to follow me, but she'll be a lot slower, and she won't be able to accompany my movement, okay? Or if you want to try something else, take this hand, come over the top, pass that lapel to your other hand, put the hand behind your head, and stretch for the Clark Oplata. Okay. But it's like choke, omoplata, kind of a combination, depending on your flexibility, or how long you can hold your breath. This one, you tap different times again. But it's a fun choke. This submission is for sure my most common submission in competition. For sure, one more time. I was really proud of this submission in 2013. I was able to win the Pan Am's Black Belt adult node gi against Marcelo Mafra with this one, and I was voted submission of the year. Boom! Stop the movement right here is really important because I don't want to stop it with my neck. Okay, I did that before. It doesn't feel good for a few months, And put your foot and tuck and roll. Okay, pass the hand across, pass the lapel, cross your legs, hand behind, not her head, because here she can reach her own collar, right? Grab her own collar and pull it and break my grip. Exactly. So after I do that, I learned my lesson. So here, now she tries to grab her own collar. She can't do it anymore. All she can do is what I want her to do, tap. Yeah. Okay. Some people will tap by the shoulder, some people by the choke. A little bit of a combination. Very fun submission. All right, let's give it a try. 1, 2, 3. Let me know if you have any questions. Yeah.